If you're looking for intellectual, informed basketball takes, and you want to bring in media that knows what they're talking about, look no further than
Come on. It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game, we don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the outlet. We on the break, it's fast break. We on the break, it's fast break. Let's go.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did I
You
say?
were around when Alexis Fed was playing ball. Stay over there.
What did I say? What did I
Here we
say?
go.
If you weren't around when Chris Duhon was getting beer assists on the Knicks, stay over there.
Your back not even turned all the way up, bro. You gotta be higher than that. Talk to
I said,
the best.
if you didn't have Starburys and you didn't want any, stay over there.
All right, wait. Some of us, like, there are Long Island fans that didn't have Starburys. It's just not what happened in Long
I
Island.
didn't have Strawberries either.
Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. You access to Strawberries. You could have had
Right.
access.
Oh wait, what's he saying? He was too rich to get Strawberries.
Where's
I didn't
Bob?
say that. I didn't say
What
that.
does that mean?
I
What
didn't
does
say that.
mean?
No,
That is only sold in the five
no, I'm
boroughs?
dead ass. They really didn't have Starburys like that in Long Island. I'm not even kidding.
Y'all close enough to Queens?
That's a fact. That's a fact. I used to be in Brooklyn like that all the time. I used to spend my weekends in Brooklyn as a kid.
Man,
That's crazy. So you had access to Starburys, is what you're saying?
Not 5 days out of the 7.
if you didn't think Frank Ntilikina was the future point guard for the New York Knicks, stay over there.
They were correct on that. Stop. They were correct on that. Correct take.
Who
That was the
cares?
correct
Andre
take.
hype. I know Andre hype. I
What
know
did I
Paul
say?
hype. I know the whole New York City hype. This has been a long time coming. That's crazy.
And you know what?
Yeah.
No matter what happens, can I just say this? It's still F Trey Young. No matter what.
Trey, you're not talking. We
Why not
passed
with
that. We passed
Going
that.
out with that.
That Boston K, you know?
Going out with that. Going out with that. Yo, Fast Breaks family, what up? We here with you. I'm here with you. Paul is here with you. Andre is here with you. Pharaoh's out today. Shout out our pod brother.
Shout out.
He wants to go be with his real people this week.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
Because he wants to go be with the Lakers fans this week. So
Oh,
He has to go back home.
he's gonna take it. He's gonna take it. Nah,
Watch,
shout out to
he's gonna hear that. He's gonna feel that in his spirit. But like, nah, they're talking shit. I'm logging on immediately.
next week
Nah, shout out to
he's gonna
Fab.
come in.
He'll be that.
He's gonna come in hot with his little doofy Lakers hat, the little purple one. His sunglasses.
Weird. But yeah, we here to talk ball. Playoffs going crazy. The whole city's going crazy. New York is on fire right now.
Knicks
Oh,
and
sorry.
City. Yo, y'all
We
see
gonna talk about the Knicks soon,
Told
though,
you.
but first. You know, Paul said it. Knicks and
Told
6.
you.
I
know
put
what
it
I
too.
saw?
Hold on, wait a minute.
But did you say that Knicks were going to win the championship?
Yes,
When?
I said it with you. Nah, we're not doing this. Every
You
time
said that. Did you say that before the season started? Because I said it before the season started. It's
I
on
didn't say
record.
it before. I will give you that. I didn't say it before the season
all right.
started. I didn't say before the season
Paul,
started. Once the season started, I was with you on that. Don't pretend I wasn't.
Paul, did you say before the cat trade?
Huh?
Before the cat trade?
Yeah,
I said before the cat trade. I said we're going to the finals.
Before the cat trade, I said we were gonna make it to the conference finals, honestly. And then after the cat trade, I'm like, they're probably going to the finals. And then when I saw them play, I'm like, we are winning the championship.
There's still 2 more rounds to go. We're gonna see. Because we're gonna talk about the next
best team in basketball.
Right now.
We took out the best team in basketball.
The best team in basketball?
Yes, we did. They won the chip last year.
Paul, you agree with that? I'm not saying if you think they can win or not. I'm saying you think they play like the best team in basketball.
Play like is not what he said.
Right.
He said they
are the best. Okay. Do you agree with that?
I'm conflicted because I always thought they were overrated. That being said, they're tough to beat, man.
Yeah, that was
tough. They're tough to beat.
And I don't want to hear anyone talk about Jason Tatum because we were on the way for that. We were on the way to that anyway.
We were winning that game regardless. Jason Tatum started chucking them Trae Young threes, and then he got injured. We were growing the lead. The momentum was ours. It was too late.
No, I think y'all was on the way to winning that anyway. At that point, there's no telling what's going to happen though. But at that point, it was crazy. But that's a good way to get into the first.
I do want to say though, I wanted to beat them with Tatum.
Yeah, so much.
I know you did.
So I wanted to beat them with a healthy Tatum. So I didn't like seeing him go down, but I wanted to.
But also, I want to ask you specifically because that was one of his best games that he was having one of his best games.
Yeah, he was.
Do you respect him a little bit more now?
No.
He just doesn't like him. That's the thing.
No.
Here's the thing. Jaylen Brown had an opportunity to show us that he is who you're telling us who he is, and he just didn't. And I'm not even going to give them game 5. I'm not going to because honestly, I saw more from Luke Cornett and Derek White in game 5. They decided to play like Kobe and Shaq, and I've never seen who told them that they could do this? Hold on.
We allow them to. See, the media, I told this to you in the group chat, the media acts like the Celtics just control their own destiny. And I didn't tell y'all, I told somebody another group chat, but they act like the Celtics control their own destiny. Like if they play well, if they do X, Y, Z, they're definitely going to win. No, we didn't play well. That's why they won game 5.
Correct. We played pretty bad. Mad fouls, just all around.
When they got up by 20 each time, it was a lack of focus on the defensive end by the New York Knicks that allowed them to do that. Because remember that overtime game and the last game of the regular season, it was tight the whole way.
Yeah.
People forget that. That was peak Tatum in that game. He was doing it in the mid-range. That was the Tatum that we saw in game 5. That last regular season game. When this is to Pharaoh's credit, when Brown is not there, Tatum goes to another level because he scores in the areas in which Brown scores and that he wants to score. Correct. He has all the freedom in the world, but when Brown is there, he's just reverting to threes and dunks and layups.
Right, and that's the point I was making last week. Alan, you weren't here for this, but I said the scheme of the Celtics is not to play to Jason. I didn't say it like this, but I'm saying like this now. This is what I was getting at. The scheme of the Celtics isn't to play to Jason Tatum's strengths. It's to overcome Jaylen Brown's weaknesses because he cannot shoot. He cannot do. He's not the best decision maker on the perimeter in terms of passing. So what they allow him to do is Jason Tatum stays out there and he gets to go do all the inside buckets. And Jason Tatum looks like a chuck. But when he's not there, we see him do everything. And we don't get that from Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree, but I see what you're saying. Is he frozen?
Who, me? Or Andre?
Yeah,
he definitely froze. But I don't necessarily disagree with you, huh?
Oh, you good?
Andre, you here?
What's the last thing y'all heard me say?
When he's not there, he does well. I think you completed your take. I think.
No. I had one last part of it. So when he's not there, he does well. And I don't know, Paul, how you can say Jason Tatum is not that guy, but Jaylen Brown is. Because when Jason Tatum's not there, I don't see Jaylen Brown's not dropping 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not seeing that.
We don't see a lot of we don't see a lot of Celtics without Jason Tatum. We don't see that.
That's true.
So
but I will say,
I saw 2 games.
I will say, like to Paul's credit, Like Jason, no, not Jason. Jaylen Brown was playing well, and game 6 or whatever. He just, he just was in foul trouble. He was on his way to having one of those type of games.
I don't
I
know.
disagree.
Everyone,
I disagree.
Too.
Everyone else was, huh?
He had
Okay, yes. The turnovers, yes, but that was gonna be my next point.
It's not just the turnover.
Scoring. I'm talking about, but just him scoring.
Oh, just a scoring perspective. I can.
Because you were saying that he doesn't like. I don't know, whatever. But I think the point is, like, I think he's a great scorer. I just think he's kind of not great at everything else on the offensive end. And my one thing,
shooter?
Scorer, not a shooter.
Okay,
that doesn't necessarily mean shooter.
He's a good shooter, not a great shooter.
He's an okay.
Exactly.
If you leave him open, he's gonna hit it.
I saw him get a lot.
I think his best is when he's driving to the basket. Anyway,
correct.
I think that's when he's like his best.
Of course.
But even then, when he does that, like he does this thing where he decides to take the worst shot possible, and I don't understand it.
Right.
He always tries this little. He gets to the paint. Either he's going to try to pump fake you and try to get hit a layup, which is when he's at his best, or for whatever reason he does a turnaround,
fadeaways. Yep.
That's not his
with
game.
the defender right in his face, and I don't know why he feels the need to do that because he's going to do that like 6 times out of 10. So I think he definitely got some work to do this offseason, and he's definitely got to fix some things if he's going to be without Jason Tatum for the whole year.
He's got to call lethal shooter. That's what he's got to do.
Why are we saying? Well, yeah, but why are we saying that Tatum's out for the whole year? Why is everybody saying that?
It's just an assumption. It's just an assumption. When you have an Achilles, when you have an Achilles tear in the past, you're typically out for a year. But you're right though. It could it's been more advanced lately. Like the last person we saw do this, the last star we saw do this was KD, and he was out for a year. But you're right. It could change.
Yeah. I could see him coming because you got to understand. Like, well, this is going to lead into the topic, but we don't know what the Celtics are going to do. But if they keep most of their guys, they're still going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Let's not act like Jaylen Brown is not doesn't have star talent. They're going to be one of the best teams. And then if they enter the playoffs and Tatum comes back, now what? You see what I'm saying?
Listen,
that's what I could see happening.
Here's the reality of it, and this is what we have to. So I called them the best team in basketball at the beginning of this, and I said that because it's a mental thing. They're coming off a chip. They're shooting all these threes. They have great defense, and they have 5 two-way guys as starters, 3 more coming off the bench along with shooters. They are a well-equipped team. But the reality of the matter is last season, okay, they went up against dilapidated teams that were either injured. Like they got a lot of luck last year. The Knicks flamed out not because of lack of ability, but literally because like our entire starting lineup got injured. That is a crazy string of luck to go through. You know what I'm saying? The Pacers were not ready. The Mavericks were not ready. I think who do they have the first round?
Halliburton got injured too.
Halliburton got injured. I forgot about that. So there's a lot of injuries they have to overcome. We've never seen and this is going to be for the Knicks. The Pacers didn't get a fair shot last year because they had to go against injured teams as well. So the fact that we have non-injured 100% Knicks team out there changes the destiny of a lot of teams in the East that were having it easy. And for the Celtics, how they rebrand and what they do, what their future goes through, because just for context, audience, the sale of the Celtics went through under the second apron that has been the financial landscape of the NBA over the last, year and a half, 2 years. The way it's structured, the current construction of the Celtics roster becomes unaffordable unless a lot of guys and the team as a whole make a lot of sacrifices and guys take a lot less. And I'm talking a lot less. Like they might have to, even if they took, yeah, exactly, like $100 million off the table to afford everybody else. So I don't know that they are able to afford this team. And if they're not able to afford this team, I don't know that they get the same production. I mean, sure, Derek White, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown are at the center of this team, but you need a healthy Kristaps Porzingis. Clearly, you need Drew Holiday. Clearly, you need Hauser off the bench. You have all these pieces that you might not be able to. Peyton Pritchard, obviously as well. Maybe he becomes the starting point guard. Drew Holiday, leaves the team or has to leave the team. But you have a lot of decisions to make from the financial standpoint that a lot of teams are struggling with right now. We saw it happen to the Nuggets. It would have happened to the Knicks if Jalen Brunson was a more selfish person. So, what do the Celtics exactly do?
So just let me rewind you a little bit, right? So you were talking about how the other teams, like I guess I'm paraphrasing you, but their luck ran out because of the Knicks is 100% healthy, etc. I still don't really like that narrative because now this year I could low-key make this is maybe not as grand of a scale as last year with the Celtics, but I could kind of make the same argument for the Knicks now. And I'm not going to make the argument against the Knicks. Like I said, I don't like the injury thing because at this point, like we could go back years and years and every year and find people who are injured, right? Because
that's that level of last year's Celtics though.
That's fine.
That was different.
Maybe not every year to this level, but you can go back enough, you will find enough teams that had that kind of luck.
Oh no, absolutely.
Draymond himself said that about the Warriors.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You said what?
Draymond himself said that about his first trip against the Cavs. When they got eliminated, he said no Kyrie, no K-Love. So he said he gotta respect it.
Exactly, but that's kind of like my point. Like it's just like it is what it is. I can't keep discrediting chips over that because it happens every year. At some point, it's going to be like only like 5 chips count now because like
no.
Yes.
No.
I'll discredit a chip.
I'm not gonna say chips don't count because the only chip in my mind that has an asterisk right next to it is the bubble chip. Aside from that,
get it out of here, man.
I'm not gonna lie, but you can't because that's what comes with the territory. Listen, it's after an 82 game season. Some of these series go 7 games. It's bound to happen where you run into injuries, and God forbid it happens to your favorite team. It's a terrible thing to go through. Comparatively, for the Knicks this season versus the Celtics last season, it was almost every round that the Celtics were running into the fortune of going against a depleted team, right? Or a team that wasn't fully ready. Whereas the Knicks, they just went up against a completely healthy Pistons team. They went up against who wasn't? Oh, Jalen Ivey. I forgot.
Jalen Ivey, Isaiah Stewart.
Isaiah Stewart did not
2
play
starters.
Well. Isaiah Stewart did not play well in the game that he played.
You know what, Alan? I forgot
they
about
that. They were better off. No, they were better off without Isaiah Stewart, in my opinion, based on what I saw. Number one. And number two, Jaden Ivey, the Pistons took another because he got injured during the regular season. They went up another level without Jaden Ivey. So
no, but to Alan's point, that's correct. Because I forgot about those two. Because they didn't.
If they're better off without them, then what? What we're gonna act like the Pistons didn't look better without them? Jaden Ivey is not.
That's not. I agree with you, but that's
Jaden Ivey maybe shouldn't even be a starter.
Hold on. I agree with you.
That's not
necessarily the point. The point was, I can admit I was wrong because I actually did forget about those two guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, and that's probably to Paul's point that like they were forgettable.
Yes.
But it goes against my point. The Knicks didn't go against a fully healthy team. So Alan actually might have a point. If you go back enough, or even if you look at this series, maybe the Knicks are benefiting, and maybe that's the trick of the trade. Like maybe it's our turn to benefit. Maybe that's what the path to the championship looks like. No, but seriously, like one of the things
everyone would tell you one of the things you need for a championship is luck. That's one of the things they always say.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm not going to discredit him. He's one of the GOATs. But like, look at LeBron. One of the greatest things about him is his longevity, for the fact that he could stay healthy for as long as he has. And that is a big part about being present and winning in this league. You have to stay being the champion. Not only involves being better than everybody else. Being better means being healthier than everybody else. Being actually ready to go.
LeBron would say that's not always luck. That's preparation too. So
sometimes, but like with Jason Tatum, that's a freak accident. Like you can't prepare for an Achilles.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, true.
You know,
And
sometimes that thing just ruptures.
Jaden Ivey was averaging 17, bro. That's not nothing.
Okay, and maybe he shouldn't be listen, man. Cade Cunningham goes to another level when he has the ball in his hands and has shooters around him. They are better off. I'm not saying Jaden Ivey's not a good player, but I think he should be the sixth man on the Pistons or go to a different team. That's what I think.
I don't think he should go to a different team, but six man would actually be more fitting for him given the season. Actually, I don't even know if I could say that because they have
Schroeder.
Schroeder, yeah.
Start him. He played well alongside Cade Cunningham.
He did. He always plays well.
Let's not forget the Pistons are still trying to figure it out this year, but because of the good coaching of JB Biggerstaff and the fact that they actually got some guys, that was a tight race, man. I don't know. You can't be mad at whoever won. Like, you know, but anyway.
That was tough.
Yeah. But the thing is I think they sped up they tripled their win total from last year. They didn't expect to be this good this quick.
That's why I said what I said. That's crazy turnaround.
It is a crazy turnaround, but I'm saying when Jaden Ivey went down, they did go up another level.
Where
it's not. I'm not saying he's not talented and not an NBA player. He could be a star someday. Who knows? But it doesn't. I don't think he fits with Cade Cunningham on the court at the same time.
I mean, that's the kind of the problem the Rockets are having. I mean, not to move too quickly or too far away. That's kind of the problem that the Rockets are having with Jalen Green.
And Amen Thompson, and people are not talking about it enough. Amen Thompson looked better than Jalen Green in those playoffs. But anyway,
yeah. But going back to another point you said, Andre, about the Celtics and the second apron and everything. So, like, the problem with the second apron is, and not just the second apron, it's everything that comes along with it. It's like the luxury tax and all this stuff. It's not so much like it's whether you choose or not that you want to pay all that. And now if they have new ownership, we're gonna have to really closely watch like what they plan to do with this team. They just came off a championship. They came off of another run where they look like one of the best teams in the league and lost in the second round. And now the question becomes to me, like, do you want to keep this championship window open? How do you do that? Or like, do you want to, like, you know, maybe save some money and like just own a team? And that's gonna be the biggest question to me, because all the reports keep saying that like they don't want to pay this crazy bill of like the salary, because the Celtics are the most expensive team in the league.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm very curious to see what's about to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if how after this, like after how Jason, not that he flamed out, but if they end up keeping everybody and just trying to get rid of Jaylen Brown. I'm not even kidding. Like, that would be incredible. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start making phone calls and be like, we think we can win with Jason Tatum, all of our guys, and like a cheaper, younger guy, like a Jalen Ivey or a Jalen Green. You know what I'm saying? Go give Jaylen Brown his own team. Obviously, these guys can't cook together at the same time. So let's go get a younger, cheaper guy and build around those two.
But they can. They want a chip. That's my thing. Like,
I understand. I'm talking about if I am a cheap owner, right? This is exactly what happens to the Thunder. If I'm a cheap owner and we got KD, we got Russ, we got it. We don't need Harden. We can give him his own team. Let's send him to Houston. I wouldn't be surprised if the new Celtics ownership did the same thing to Jaylen Brown. They're not going to get rid of Jason Tatum, especially not right now.
But I see what you're saying, but I disagree, because Jaylen Brown is more important to the Celtics than James Harden at that time was to the Thunder. He was the sixth man. Right? They had Westbrook and KD.
Right.
Plus Harden.
Right.
It's Tatum and then a bunch of solid players. Like, I think their team is more well-rounded than that Thunder team was. But
100%.
To a degree. I'm going to say to a degree only because it's well-rounded in the context of how we think about basketball right now. But that Thunder team, for how basketball was played at the time, was one of the best teams that you could have in the league. So you got to keep that
I
context.
guess. But I'm talking about like just like talent wise, like ability to score and get their own shot. They got multiple guys that could do that on the starting line.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't see them trading Jaylen Brown more than I see like the more replaceable guys are probably like the especially after how he looks in the playoffs, Drew Holiday.
I don't know if that's true.
Believe it or not,
offensively, sure, but not defensively.
he did defensively. He didn't have the impact that he used to have, and he's like 35
against Jalen Brunson. Come on,
against
who has that kind of impact?
Against Drew Holiday looked like a good defender, but he didn't look like what he was on the Bucks. He didn't look like what he was last year. He looked like
I was about to say he didn't even look like last year.
Yeah, right. Like he looked like a good defender, but not
that
like
age is showing.
A little bit. So I'm saying for a championship contending team, they might be like, all right, maybe we could downgrade a little bit for youth that does a similar job, right? Derek White, right? Listen, I know the production he put up looks crazy, but at the end of the day, he was taking a lot of open threes.
Yes.
And then when he made the open threes, he would chuck and make contested threes, right? There are guys in the league that could do that. Maybe they don't play as good defense as Derek White, as good of a defense as Derek White, but there are guys that could do that. KP, when he's healthy, is irreplaceable by anybody but like Cat, Jokic.
No, Chet.
Nah,
I think he's better than Chet. Chet's not there.
I'm not even putting Chet there. Not yet. Embiid when healthy, right? That's it.
Who? Who's the last one?
Embiid when healthy. That's it. Outside of those guys, KP when healthy is not gonna be replaced, right? But he hasn't been healthy, so therefore they might look into trading him. Who else? Peyton Pritchard's not going nowhere. He's not going anywhere. I mean, that's nice.
I think he ends up
nice.
being. I think going forward, the only untouchable guys I see on the Celtics, high key, are Luke Cornett just won his starting role. I'm not gonna lie for next season.
No.
Luke Cornett.
Let's relax. That's still the same Luke Cornett that was struggling to get minutes on the Knicks. That's still the same guy.
Listen to me.
Shout out to him, but like,
listen to me. I'm not talking.
We know about Luke Cornett.
I'm not talking about a talent. I'm talking about, again, devil's advocate from the point of view of a cheap ownership. If that's what this ownership is. If I'm a cheap ownership, Luke Cornett, congratulations. You're getting promoted. And Kristaps, goodbye.
Al Horford, though. What about Al Horford?
He can.
He looks like he's done, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, man's got 5 kids. He's trying. He's tired.
Yeah, no, he got 5 kids.
He's 38 years old.
Every time he scored, the Celtics would say he got 5 kids.
He threw up an alley-oop, but I said I know his knees are killing it. I know it.
Oh my gosh.
I think he was really giving it all this year. After the championship year, he really wanted to run it back. But I think it's a wrap for sure this time.
I don't know. These old guys don't want to give it up, man.
They don't.
We see that in the NBA, like, because they're not the same old guys as like the old guy. You remember Baron Davis on the Knicks? How he looked?
Yeah.
These old guys don't look like that.
Facts.
they looking like LeBron or who else? KD.
The problem
is still give you something.
And that's the problem. He can still give you something every once in a while, and that's going to trick him into thinking he still got it. Yeah, but just like, hey, yo, shout out to Rook. Rook is always saying these guys
we need an age limit
right. Shout out to Rook. Always saying that.
If it was up to him, Vince Carter would have retired 10 years early.
10 years early. No, but you know what the thing is also. And we've seen it, and this used to be the old pattern where, like, remember when guys, like, it happened to Dwayne Wade, happened to a couple guys, even Kobe, when they start getting older and they lose out that athleticism, they start relying on that shot more. And a lot of guys can't hack it. Al Horford is not one of those guys. He is a legitimate 3-level threat in the sense that he actually, if you leave him open, that's a knockdown every time. And that's not something that actually used to be part of his early game. That's something he developed over time. Brooke Lopez is the same thing. So you have these. Again, the context of how the NBA is played right now. You can keep an old veteran for a little bit longer if they know how to shoot, and especially if they're big guys, and all they got to do is stand in the paint, use a little bit of keep your hands up. You can pay a guy a vet minimum for a long time and keep a very solid team around them,
Yep.
So that's the other side. We're talking about the second apron. We're thinking about how to save money. You might not want to move the guys that you can get for a cool $2 million for 1 year. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bet.
Yeah.
So let me ask you all this though. What move if you're being cheap, right?
Jaylen Brown is gone.
No, this guy is crazy. I'm
sorry.
You feel the way about Jaylen Brown the way I feel about Tatum.
No, I love Jaylen Brown. That's the thing. You dislike Jason Tatum.
No, you
I
don't.
love Jaylen.
I don't dislike
You
him.
just make me sound like I dislike him because of how the absurdity of the things you say.
Nah, Jaylen Brown is like he got the Finals MVP and Eastern Conference MVP for a reason.
On hate.
It wasn't hate.
We went through the
better.
numbers. We went through the numbers. People went through the eye test and they're like, I feel like he's doing better. Every stat told me otherwise. Every single one.
So are you saying that the eye test?
Not everyone. Almost everyone, though.
Are you saying that the stats are more important than what you see on the court?
I think the stats play into the actual level of impact and they should be taken into consideration.
Of course, but that's not what I asked. Oh, yes,
I know.
I agree. What did I ask?
You asked if I think it's more important. The answer is no.
All right. Okay.
I'm saying that the stats were not given as much consideration as the eye test, and they should have been.
I don't know about that.
Because if you look at the impact to winning, Jason Tatum had a greater impact, just straight up. Even if he missed all the shots.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
No, he did not. No, he did not.
When you have a guy,
the stats show you that.
Stop.
You're overrating stats.
We're not doing this.
You're overrating the stats. No, the stats.
That's not
the
what
thing is that the stats don't really. The stats don't show you Jason Tatum had a greater impact. Is my thing. So I don't know why.
It's because he had.
If anything, the eye test shows me more Jason Tatum did well than the stats.
Not all them bricks that I saw.
See, we're talking about the bricks.
Not all those bricks that I saw.
Game. I'm talking about his overall game.
Exactly, his overall game. The eye test tells me his overall game was better because the stats tell me he played terrible.
No, I disagree. The stats tell me he shot terribly. That's not the same thing.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal, but it's not the only deal.
That's the biggest deal.
When it comes to stats, that's a pretty big deal.
This game is about buckets, man. I don't care if you get 20 rebounds. You're not a center. Like, what are you talking about?
If that's the same energy, I don't want to hear LeBron James in the GOAT conversation ever again. Okay, I don't. I don't want to hear that.
Unless you start taking callers, you're not going to hear that.
You used to have him as number 2. What are you talking about?
Who, me?
Yes.
I mean, he's up there.
You used to boldly proclaim him as number 2. You used to be like,
I used to have Kareem over him for the longest.
For a minute. Yeah, you did.
So, look, and speaking of eye tests versus stats, I think stats are why you, Alan, say that Jaylen Brown had a decent game or a good game.
No, because I feel like he was like for game 6. You mean?
Yeah. Last night. Yeah.
Let me bring it. Let me take it back. Let me not say decent game. He was on his way to a decent game if he stayed there. I
don't know about that.
How do I'm trying to figure out how I'm trying to what I'm trying to say. A decent game. I think he was on his way to a decent game. Only in the sense of just scoring, because that's the context I was talking about. I feel like he was the only Celtic that was able to create and get his own bucket in an offense that looked terrible that night. Is my point. Is what I was trying to get at, basically.
I mean,
everything else, you're right, though. He had a bad game. The turnovers, I don't think anybody's defense was good. I think overall it was not a good game, but I think he was doing a decent job of getting a couple buckets.
20 points on 20 shots. How do you rate that?
Was it 20 shots?
Yes. He was 8 for 20. I had 20 points.
I thought, are you sure? Are you looking at the stats right now?
I remember seeing that when he fouled out. So, and he fouled out early.
8 for 20 is not that bad. It's not that
bad. I agree.
Yeah.
But when you put it in context, 20 points on 20 shots. What do you have the same amount of points as shot attempts?
Yeah, that's always bad. That's always bad.
That's not bad. Sometimes it's decent,
Right.
And that's how I categorize his game, because from what I saw, he was the only person that was able to get his own shot outside of Peyton Pritchard. But at the same time, I don't think he was doing a great job at it, especially on his way to fouling out. I don't think he was doing a great job at it. Like, honestly, I think, listen, you're the guy. The way I talk about Brown, I got to hold him accountable. Like, if I believe you're going to be the guy, you can't be playing like Tatum in game 1 and 2. Come on, son.
Word. All right. I think we did it for the Celtics talk.
Get better, Tatum. We want to see you. We want to see you back next year.
No, that's a fact. I definitely want to see him back. He had an incredible season this year too. I was looking forward to his playoff run. It didn't turn out how he wanted, but I was looking forward to see what he did after, the whole Olympics thing and the whole his whole finals performance last year. I thought he was going to really go crazy this whole playoffs, but I hope he comes back even better. Let's see, man. He's still going to be all NBA first team.
That's a fact.
At least he gets something out the season.
And I want to talk about this Tatum face of the NBA conversation because
I don't think
not this episode, but
I think
it's
a wrap. I think
it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
It's a wrap for that.
It's over.
Tatum face of the league conversation because he's injured.
No, because he got injured like 2 games before his team got eliminated.
That's a fact.
He played most of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wait, so why are we saying it's done?
Because he didn't look good. He showed us
why.
1 year. This is not 1 year. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, he didn't play well last year. That's why this is why he didn't get a single MVP award, and they got 2 that he could have gotten. I'm telling you. You looking at his LeBron-like stats. Oh my gosh, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Man, look at the game, man.
Listen, so if it's I'm looking at the marketing, and they're teasing up Luka versus Tatum for the future. That's what's going on right now. All right. So
I don't think they are. I don't see that.
Really? Because I just saw a Nike commercial, and the only 2 NBA players that were in it were Luka Doncic in his purple Lakers jersey and Jason Tatum in his green Celtics jersey. They have a number of Nike.
Not everyone's signed to Nike.
They have a number of players that are in the playoffs that are likable that they could have done that with.
None of them are face of the league worthy.
I don't know. Who's Jalen Brunson signed to?
I don't think it's Nike.
Let me see.
Is it Nike?
Hey,
I feel like it's
Nike. Who's in? And is who?
Adidas.
Adidas, yeah, that's what I thought.
He had mad commercials last year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, those 2 are signed to Nike. Those are the only 2 big prominent ones signed to Nike.
And I could see
right now
and getting more commercials as the playoffs go on.
He has been. I see him mad commercials these days.
Mm-hmm. He's in the conference finals for the 2nd year in a row.
Jalen Brunson is signed to Nike.
I didn't read the comment. He's right. We gotta move
on. I'm sorry, but can I just say this? Jalen Brunson is signed to Nike.
Oh, he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I see. We saw.
Okay, out of the playoffs, and he's going to the finals.
That AT&T Villanova commercial is OD.
They play that too much.
I'm a fan, man. But
there's been a rotation of commercials that they playing too much. We gotta talk about that NBA. Can we take like a survey or something? Because if I hear that AT&T commercial one more time, if I hear Chuck GBT one more time, there's too much, man.
He does it.
The face he makes in the end too,
don't let it be. Don't let it be a Knicks Timberwolves finals because that's the only commercial they're gonna play.
You're gonna see the same 2 commercials.
I want them to bring back the Ant Sprite commercial because he's truly like no matter what you. He's really a nigga from the A, and I love that about him, and that doesn't change.
That's his whole personality.
But
let's move on to the next series for the Knicks. Are y'all confident? Are you going to pass Indiana?
Yes.
We're going to the.
We're going to the finals, guy.
Listen,
I'm very confident. I'm very confident.
Listen, let me.
Paul, I know you respect Indiana, Paul.
I do.
Okay.
But the thing is,
you want to hear how much
I believe the Knicks. You said what?
You want to hear how much I respect Indiana?
I don't know if I want to hear, but go ahead.
Knicks in 4.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
You're
What
bugged
did,
out.
what did Jalen Brunson do in Boston?
No, he did this.
No, in Boston. When he was looking
Boston.
up in Boston when he was looking up the camera.
Oh.
See you later. That's what I'm doing to the Pacers. Indiana K
What were
next.
you gonna say, Paul?
Let me say this, right? I gotta talk to the Knicks fans out here, man, for a second. Get that Knicks PTSD out of your heart, man. Get that Knicks. I hear so the most nugget. I'm sorry, I gotta do it.
They don't respect your fans.
We need caller. Pharaoh, if you're watching, we gotta have call-ins, man. Ah.
Crazy. This guy was a Nets fan. That's a fact. I was a Knicks fan for longer than I was a Nets fan.
We don't know that.
Yes, we do.
We can't
document it on this podcast. What are you talking about?
It's not.
Yes, it is. Oh my god.
All those tapes are deleted. We don't know.
That's not true. That's not true. We have all the clips on YouTube.
Let Paul talk to his Knicks brothers.
Listen, man.
So you're not my Knicks brothers? This is crazy.
Oh man. This is what I say. The most negativity that I've heard about the Knicks, pessimism, I should say, that I've heard about the Knicks has come from Knicks fans. And then when we win, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, we're so happy, Listen, don't let the media win. We got. Listen, hold on. Let's put things into perspective. I said the Knicks are going to win a championship before the year started for a reason. We got Jalen Brunson been one of the best players in the NBA, top 10, maybe top 5, honestly.
Top 5 for real.
For the past 3 years now, while on for our New York Knicks, we got Josh Hart, one of the best glue guys, the modern day Draymond, but he needs to shoot the 3 more than Draymond usually does, right? Which is a criticism I got of Draymond too.
Well, actually, Josh Hart has been shooting the 3, especially the last 2
now.
games.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We got one of the two of the best defensive wings in the NBA. And one of the defensive wings that we got actually showed up offensively and has taken a step forward in OG. And one of those wings is the best player from the Nets. We got Mikal. Let's not forget. Let's put this in perspective. Mikal Bridges to the Knicks was something that we dreamed of and said as a joke, and it happened.
That's a fact.
It happened in real life. We got Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. We didn't have to give up Mitchell Robinson to have Karl Anthony Towns. We have versatility. Let's not forget how good Mitchell Robinson. A lot of Knicks fans forgot how good Mitchell Robinson is. We got versatility. We have hunger. That's the key. That's the key. That every team should watch the New York Knicks and try to emulate us because it will make a better NBA. You know why I say that? Because no, I'm so serious too. You know why I say that? Because the Knicks, this whole time before we got Jalen Brunson, I should say, right? They fought and made the playoffs off of grit and defense and playing hard and fundamentals and just having just the fortitude, mental fortitude, and the conditioning. The conditioning, like it's crazy. Like the things that people say about the Heat. Let's not forget they got that from the Knicks. Pat Riley took the Knicks culture and brought it to the Heat, called the Heat culture. Thibodeau brought it back, right? And we still got that. And now it's showing. It didn't show its head. It didn't show its face throughout the season enough. But now it's showing that culture that Tom Thibodeau, we got to give credit. He hasn't been perfect, but that culture that he instilled within us is still here. And now we have enough talent. When you combine that and leadership from Jalen Brunson, when you combine intangibles, all the things that people want from the NBA stars and superstar teams, combine that with some talent, that's a championship. That's a championship in the making. And I saw that. The Knicks culture combined with the increased talent that we got this year we're going to win the chip. And as Knicks fans, we need to stop allowing these guys to get to our these like Brian Windhorst. I got love for Brian. I like Brian Windhorst. But these guys that just are so pessimistic are like, oh, they'd be lucky they win the game. Stephen A. Smith, who's supposed to represent us on TV, right? We can't let these guys win. We watch the Knicks every game as Knicks fans. We know how good they are. We know what they could have done. And it's time that we have the confidence in our team that the players and the organization has in them themselves. Why not say we're going to win the chip? It's not the same old Knicks. Why? Because it's the Knicks and the Knicks are going to Knicks? Nah, Knicks being Knicks means something different now. It's different now. And we need to have the confidence in our team. So we're going to win the chip. And I said it before the year started, and now people are now like, wait, this might actually be true. Nah, as Knicks fans, we should have been standing up a little taller. Get that Knicks PT. Why not? That's a fact. Why not? Get that Knicks PTSD out of your brain. This is a different team now. And it's going to be different for the next 10 years.
That's a fact.
Whether we win the chip every year, I'm not saying we're going to win the chip every year, but we're going to be different.
Got me hyped.
Wait,
I'm saying.
Paul, because this is an
man.
important conversation. Has Jalen Brunson started a dynasty?
Let's win
Stop.
Let's win the chip first.
We're not going there. We gotta win.
You're letting your intrusive thoughts win. I got
that is crazy. We're gonna ignore that question.
I got the same thoughts. You can't say that out loud.
Stop.
Oh, you got the same thought. All right, that's all I want to know.
Can't say that out loud yet.
Let me ask y'all a basketball question.
No.
No, it's always a Nets fan over here, but I'm not gonna lie. He's got me hyped. That's what he's got me hyped. I'm ready to run through the wall from Paul.
Jersey, man.
Huh?
It needs to send the Nets back to New
Please,
Jersey.
bro, please.
We got the Liberty and Barclays. We good.
We don't need that.
I'll never forgive Jay-Z for this, man. Never. But let me ask y'all a basketball question. What do y'all think? What do y'all think is the keys to beating the Pacers? Because that's a very good Pacers team over there.
Just show up, tie your shoes.
Oh my
basketball.
Board the team bus. Arrive at the arena.
Make sure there's enough gas to get to Indiana. All right. Show up and be who you are. That's it. Those are my keys to success. Start the bus.
Are you sure the
bus? You're in for an awakening. You're in for an awakening out there.
Am I?
Yeah, the Pacers are a very good team, man.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're gonna.
Because that's disrespect, but low key, I can see them taking one game.
All right, fair enough. If that's what you believe, fair enough. But tell me, why do you think the Knicks are so much better than Indiana? Then
I'll tell you exactly why. We are far more talented overall, and quite frankly, we have no one. They don't have anyone defensively. When you have five WMDs, okay, because that's what we have in our starting lineup on the offensive line. They don't have enough guys to lock up everybody. You got to hope to God that OG has a bad game or Mikhail has a bad game.
I agree. That's where I was going.
You know what I'm saying? Because Jalen Brunson, he's not going to have more than one, maybe, bad game. He's just not. And even if he has a bad game, it's only going to last 3 quarters. The second he even thinks about the fourth quarter, it's a wrap. So you've got to hope to, like, the Pacers are a good team, but they're not a defensive juggernaut. All right? And honestly, the fact that they're going to have Miles Turner, who's their best, who's their rim protector, they have to make a decision. Either you're going to have Pascal Siakam at the perimeter guarding Cat, or you're going to have Miles Turner away from the rim to guard Cat. And in both those circumstances, we just saw the Knicks go 11 games essentially exploiting teams who did that, right? Because how much it opens up for them. And you could see in the first couple games, the Knicks were scoring almost primarily in the paint because they couldn't guard the paint, because the Celtics and the Detroit Pistons could not guard the paint like that. Thank God for Luke Cornett in Game 5, because otherwise the Knicks would have run away with it in the paint. So unless you have a way to figure out how to guard Karl Anthony Towns, which the Pacers do not have, I don't see the Knicks. I don't see the Pacers getting more than one game, and that one game is accounting for everything going wrong on the Knicks side.
Okay, I'll say this, right? Number one, the Pacers are a very good team.
They are.
They're not. They're not. It's not luck that they're in the conference finals.
No, it's
next year they could be in the conference finals too. They are good. I'm telling you, they're good. Andre, don't sleep. All right.
I'm not sleeping. I'm not going to ignore the fact they got very lucky.
I don't know. I mean, a little bit, I guess, because Darius Garland.
Damian Lillard being out is big.
That probably helped. That probably helped the Bucks. So let's talk about it. We got to talk about
the Bucks. Why did I help the Bucks?
He's so bad.
Topic for a different day.
But he's so bad defensively. Like, anyway.
But he gives you 30 points a game, which they needed.
He don't give you 30 points as often as he used to.
That's a factor.
I'm telling you. But okay, listen. Number one, right? That being said, I believe in the Knicks more. I'm not going to say 5. Definitely not a sweep. They're talented enough to sweep them, but they're not going to sweep them because the Knicks didn't develop a killer instinct yet. That's something I'm concerned about.
That's a fact. That's actually a big fact.
That's something we've seen throughout the year. Like they'll play down to bad teams and play up to good teams.
Quarters off.
And the NBA loves it because every game for the past 3 years is a close game. Almost every game with the Knicks. It's close. Like, it's crazy. Like, anyway, regardless, we still winning the chip. But I'll say Knicks in 6. Pace are gonna bring it to 6. There's gonna be one game they're gonna be on fire, and then there's gonna be one game that the Knicks just slack up and give up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't sweep a team because we get too comfortable. That's what happened in Game 5. We got comfortable. Now, here's all right. This is how we beat the Pacers, right? I sent this a group chat that I'm in, right? I got 4 keys. I'm gonna make it quick because I don't want to hog the mic. 3 keys, actually. 3 keys to beating the Pacers.
Key 1.
Jalen Brunson needs to play the most unselfish basketball he's ever played on the Knicks.
Key 2.
Let me elaborate a little bit. Come on, man. Listen. So this is why I say that, right? I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is selfish, but sometimes he tries to put the team on his back too much, and I'm tired of seeing it because it not complicates the game. It does complicate the game, but it makes games harder than they should be, and sometimes closer than they should be. Right? What are you trying to talk about Embiid for? Get out of here. Like, anyway, yeah, he needs to be unselfish. Right? The most unselfish he's been. He's not a selfish player. I'm just saying he needs to take it to another level. The selflessness needs to go to another level. This is why. Right? Second point, to Andre's credit. This is the series that OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges win for us. A lot of Knicks fans are going to say, what about Cat? We need Cat. Cat needs to show up. He hasn't shown up enough. I'm trying to win a chip. I don't care about how much money Cat is making. I want to win a chip. And winning a chip is about exploiting mismatches on the offensive end, at least, right? This is what the Celtics do to a team better than the Knicks. Yes. This man, OG Anunoby, is a wing, like a real wing, like 6'7", 6'8", strong, right? And plays physical, right? Has a little post game too, right? Like he'll get in the post. He doesn't have great footwork, but he'll body people and finish the shot, right? The layup attempt, right? Mikal Bridges is more finesse, but he's so lanky that all he has to do is get to the spot. It doesn't matter if you hit him in the face. He's going to shoot over you and make it from the mid-range. Right now, he might be the best mid-range shooter left in the playoffs right now.
He's
that good for the mid-range, right? The Pacers have no wings. 0.
They have point guards and centers.
They got a bunch of guards, feisty guards, and centers, right? Why not? Why not just exploit the mismatch? They got nobody that can hold. Who's gonna hold him? Naismith? Who's gonna hold Mikal Bridges? Nembhard? They're short. They're shorter.
That's what they're gonna say. It's Mathurin. It's Matherin's time.
Mathurin is like 6'5", 6'4". He's short too.
Oh, she's gonna body him.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
can I just say I've seen OG standing dunk on people like a center more times than not.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I could see Cat trying to go off. I could see Jalen Brunson trying to go off, and they have nobody that could guard him. But he's gonna have to work too hard. Why are we working hard? You know what I mean? Let's win.
Reserve him for the finals.
Let's win this and give the ball to Mikal and OG. Third point, right? This is the last point. I could see Cat and OG switching between Pascal and Miles Turner, right? Like just taking turns. But I see more Cat on Pascal than OG on Pascal, right? If Cat could play the defense that he played against the Joker in the Western Conference Finals last year against Pascal, they have no shot. If Cat could stand tall, be a physical presence, because Cat, his problem is he's not a good help defender. But on-ball defense, at all. But on-ball defense against other centers that kind of play like him, or Pascal's not a center, but he's almost the size of a center. He's better that way because he doesn't have to use mobility. He doesn't have to time his jump because he's not going to jump because he's going to be posted up, right? He's better that way. That's why he did a decent job on Joker last year in the Western Conference Finals. If you could do that with Pascal, it's a wrap, right? And I got one more bonus point. Quick. The Pacers are really good.
I know.
These games are not going to be blowouts. We're not blowing them out, and they're not blowing us out.
No.
So if it's 5 or 6
points,
if it's 5 or 6 games, all of them are going to be close. All of them are going to be close. We have to have the patience that we've had against the Celtics when they go on a run, the mental fortitude to say, all right, it's not a big deal. If we're up 20 and they bring it and they come back and tie the game, let's not overreact because they're one of the best, if not the best offensive team in the league. So let's let them go on their run. Don't overreact. It's going to happen. They're going to hit hard shots. It is what it is. And Tyrese Halliburton seems to have taken a step forward than he did last year. Yes, so they're definitely going to go on some runs. So that's how we beat them, though. Now, will Tibbs do what I said and implement what I said should be implemented? That's the question.
And that was going to be my point. I think the cold keys in this whole series is Tibbs. It's about what he's going to do. Because I think you had a great idea about, focusing on the wings because that's exactly what Pacers' weakness is. But my thing is, I don't think Tibbs is going to do that. The only person he runs plays for is Cat and Brunson.
If he runs plays.
If he runs plays.
If he runs a play.
He might not run a play for them, but he might just like we saw him at a couple of times just say, Mikal, you got it. Give him the green light. And we see what happens.
I was about to, but it's very few and far between because I feel like Mikal Bridges has not been used sufficiently this whole year. I feel like he could have used Mikal Bridges way more than he did this year, especially coming from the Nets. Yeah, coming from the Nets, I know what he's really capable of. I feel like he was not used to the best of his abilities this year with Tibbs, and that's all because of Tibbs. If you use them how the Suns used them, because remember he was the third option on that team, so he'd be great.
I think he is used the way the Suns use him though. Like he was the third. He's the third option. Yeah,
but he doesn't run any plays. He's third option by default. Like he'll get the ball to catch and shoot, but there's no plays run for him. There's no plays run for him where he can go to the basket and get his little rhythm going. He just kind of catches the ball and shoot a lot of the times. The playoffs has been a little bit different so far. So we'll see how that goes.
The third option because they kind of switch on and off.
I say in the regular season, OG kind of was trying to claim his position as third option, but he hasn't been getting it done enough. On creating his own offense, which I'm not surprised by, and I'm happy it's happening because he needs to be humbled a little bit because he got a little ego. I appreciate him, but he got a little ego. Yeah, I'm telling you. Mikal in the third quarters is when he gets his rhythm. You could say that's a little late. It's only one ball. It's only one ball. But it's only one ball.
That's very late. That's very late.
It's only one ball.
You're right.
You got to sacrifice to win chips.
That's true. So another thing that you said that I also think would be a great thing if the Knicks did. But here's the thing. I think Tibbs is gonna. Well, y'all tell me because y'all watch it a little bit more. The Knicks like to do a lot of switches, right?
No,
they don't do a lot of switch defense.
They do it now because
we do switch defense.
No, but he said a lot. What
do you mean a lot?
Was it was pulling teeth to get Tibbs to do this. He's doing it now because he got no choice. He doesn't like to do it.
Right. Okay, if he doesn't like to do it, then that kind of works in their favor against the Pacers. Because the Pacers love when teams switch. That's when they get all their stuff off.
Alan, you sound like a real analyst. That was like a real analytical take.
Why you act surprised, man?
That's a fast break.
I'm not surprised. I'm just marveling in the fact that we have spokespersons and media personalities that are not doing half the work that my guy Alan Lewis just did in that one sentence. Keep going, King.
I mean, there's a lot of people doing this work. You gotta know where to look from. But
look here. Look at Fast Breaks.
That's a fact. Look at Fast Breaks. And just watch the games. That's really all it is.
That's a fact. These guys are watching. Gilbert Arenas told on TNT. He said they don't be watching games.
Yeah, they don't. You could tell who really watches games and stuff. And like, as I watch more games, like I get better at like seeing stuff. It's about knowing how to watch the game. You know what I mean, it's really a skill learning how to watch basketball in a certain way. And the more you watch, the better you get at it. But like the Pacers really love when teams like switch against them. And I feel like that is going to be really hurtful to Cat specifically because it's like you said, Paul, it's a team against guards. So if they get the right switch, it's straight to the basket, it's straight to the Baja. And that's how Pacers really get their shit out. They play really fast. They always go into the basket. And even when they play slow, it's mad motion in their offense. It's mad movement. And teams are always switching and get caught lacking on defense. And that's how they kill their prey. And that's why it's going to be a really hard matchup for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you switch and you doing all this other stuff and you have a defense liability like someone like Cat, and I'm not even going to say Brunson because Brunson plays hard on defense. I like how Brunson plays defense.
He'll draw a charge.
Short. Yeah, he tries to draw a charge. So I'm not even going to include him into that. But because it was just his size, it makes him not a liability. It makes him like a little bit of a weakness on the court. That could lead to a very tough Pacers matchup. So I'm interested to see what Tibbs is going to do. I think we got to watch out for Tyrese Halliburton, like you said, Paul, because he took it up a level. There's multiple games this playoff where he's having like double-digit assists and no turnovers.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that, man, in the playoffs, he's becoming clutch. That's a really good point. He's becoming clutch.
Yeah.
So the games are close. Like obviously, you have Jalen Brunson. Obviously, he's probably the clutch player. He won the award, so he's the clutch player in the NBA.
That's a fact.
But like, if the other team, if they got someone on the other team that's clutch too, that minimizes like what kind of mistakes you can make. Because if they're not turning the ball over and they can rebound just as well as y'all, and their offense is just as potent as y'all, that really minimizes the mistakes you can make. So it's going to be a really tough series, man.
This is what I say though, right? Tom Thibodeau showed a willingness to do the things he doesn't want to do against the Celtics, right? I'll say when we played the Heat 2 years ago, right? This man Tom Thibodeau got scared, and it's obvious, clear as day. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't care. It's the truth. This guy got scared. He saw what Jimmy Butler did to a Giannis list or a injured Giannis Bucks, and said, "Oh, I'm not letting him drop 35 on my team." And that's what he did. And before Jimmy Butler could have a good game, he was double teaming him. Game one, double teaming him. We gave the Heat the strength to even get to the finals that year because he double teamed Jimmy Butler, left wide open shots in the playoffs for capable shooters, and they hit all their open shots. And that's how the games where we didn't double team, or the games where we didn't double team, we won. Even with Julius Randle breaking up the place, right? We still won. If this man Tom Thibodeau does what he did against the Celtics and does the things he doesn't necessarily want to do, right? Because I think you have to live with the switching because you cannot play drop coverage, right? You could hard hedge. That's one thing I'll say. Against the Pacers, you could hard hedge because they don't have wings, right? Like the guys that we're going to be hard hedging are going to be guards, and then they're going to pass it off to a big, right? Who's not going to be able to create off the dribble and drive as fast. We could recover better. And we could do that. But we're going to have to live with some switching as well, right? I think we need to do that as well as hard hedge, and we'll be all right. Like there's a formula that we know exists to beat this team.
Right.
Tibbs just needs to implement it. That's all. And he did it against the Celtics. I'm proud of him. I'm very happy. So listen, I said when the playoffs started, Tibbs is going to be the reason we either win the chip or lose the chip. It's going to be on Tibbs.
That's a fact.
We don't gotta worry about Julius anymore. Not being able to play.
Forgetting
Forgetting how to score the basketball and turn the ball and look like a Tasmanian devil in the paint.
He played well on the other side though.
Yeah, because he's playing with less pressure. He couldn't handle New York.
But yeah, that's another big thing too. I like that point you made, the drop coverage, because I think if y'all do drop coverage,
that's all right.
The Pacers gonna eat in that.
Nembhard alone is gonna have like 30.
Exactly. And Halliburton loves some drop coverage. Yeah. And that opens it up for the shooters too. They got great shooters. It's gonna open it up.
Yes, you cannot play drop coverage is done in the NBA, man.
Yeah, it's a fact. There's too many good shooters now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the keys for y'all to beat them. Let's see if Tibbs does it. And if not, I'm happy with the Pacers going to the final because I like watching them play too. But
But I don't think they're gonna win the chip though.
Nah, they won't. I don't think they will win the chip.
The Knicks, if we got to the finals, when we get to the finals, we win the chip. We're a better matchup. We're a better matchup for
all three teams.
I'll say that the Pacers could give the Thunder a run for their money, but we're a better matchup for the Timberwolves and the Nuggets.
What about the Thunder?
I think the Pacers could do as good of a job against the Thunder as the Knicks could, based on.
No, I'm saying for the Knicks. Do you think the Knicks could beat the Thunder?
We could, but I don't even know how that would look. You know what I mean? I don't. All right, so Cat's gonna see. I could see Hartenstein giving Cat trouble, right? I could see OG. I could see that's gonna be a tough matchup because
that's a very tough series.
Yeah, because they have the size to defend Jalen Brunson or make it hard for Jalen Brunson to score. I should say because nobody can guard him. They have guys that could give Cat trouble, and Cat sometimes plays outside in instead of inside out. Even when he gets into the paint, sometimes he fades away, and he might or might not make it. But I could see Hartenstein giving Cat trouble. OG Mikhail doesn't get the ball enough to even make an impact until the third quarter. Like I said, OG I want him to be a catch and shoot inside finisher guy. I don't want him creating offense. That was nice in the regular season. You're not ready yet. Not ready.
That's crazy.
He needs to understand that. I don't want his ego. He's been very humble in his play and how many times he's gotten the ball throughout the playoffs. I need that to continue. Oh, no chemistry issues. The bench of the Thunder is
a problem.
But at the same time, they haven't been great in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're
still young. They're still young. That's the problem.
Right. So the Thunder versus the Knicks is going to be, that would be interesting. That the schemes, the matchups is something that would be talked about a lot on TV by those that choose to talk about it. So
interesting way to phrase that.
But while we're here, let's talk about Game 7.
Let's get it.
Another Game 7.
What they say, the best 2 words in all sports?
That's a fact.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to start off by saying I have no idea what's going to happen tonight.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I thought it was tonight. Who's playing? Is anyone playing tonight?
Nah.
No, this is WNBA games tonight.
Yeah. Wow. We get it deep in the playoffs. The Knicks are deep in the playoffs, man. We're not getting
deep. This is deep.
It's gonna be one game every other day.
Pause on the play.
Or a day.
You know what that means for fast breaks, though, right?
What?
We are gonna stream tonight.
I'm not around tonight.
Oh my god! All right.
And Pharaoh's not here either, so we can't stream.
We have substitutions.
You know how to stream. You got the Twitch account and stuff. Pharaoh got everything set up on his.
You're right. Actually, we can figure it out.
But anyway, yeah, Game 7 thoughts. What y'all think is going to happen? Who's going to win? Who y'all want to win?
I am not betting against the Joker.
Here's what I'll tell you. What we see.
Wait, time out real quick before we go. Where's the MVP? Are they waiting until
Facts.
the series is done? Where's the MVP, NBA?
What's going on? That's actually what's
It's
happening.
already, they think they're low. They think they're low.
Whoever
They're
wins, here's
gonna
what's happening.
manipulate the votes.
Whoever
Based on what happens in the series.
No, it's a fact. Whoever wins tonight, they're gonna hand them the MVP trophy right after.
Man, I'm telling you.
That's a fact. The series is gonna end like on Sunday, and then on Monday they're gonna be like, "Oh," and the MVP. That's gonna be crazy.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. We knew it all along. It was fill in the blank. Jason Tatum.
That's crazy. It's been mad long since the NBA ended, since the season ended. NBA.
They've been doing this the last few years, man. I don't like it. It's a regular season.
Has it always been like this deep though? I know they always did during the playoffs, but I don't remember it being this deep in the past.
No.
It's been like a month.
Listen,
but
this is the new wave now. This is what they're doing. They've been doing this the past like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Before it would be like in the first round.
Right.
Semifinals.
It must be the Eastern Conference Finals, and we still don't know. It must be the conference finals, and we still don't know who's the MVP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or the first teams and all that. That's crazy.
And listen. Let me say this, Adam Silver. Giving the Mavericks the first pick does not help. Does not help your case
that was
against these
allegations.
These rigged allegations. That was crazy.
That was nuts.
That was crazy. Y'all, even if it, listen, you know what's so crazy? They would have been better off rigging it against the Mavericks and holding their credibility because the Mavericks getting it looks so crazy. Oh my god!
Right. They should have rigged it against him. You right.
Yeah, like you would have. That would have looked more fair. That would have looked more realistic. But they saw, the Mavericks got it now. Throw that away. Wizards.
That's crazy. It could have been either 2 or 3 would have looked great. It would have looked better. But
look at what I just sent y'all on Instagram.
It's crazy.
The number 1 pick is crazy.
Man, get off Instagram, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. We're doing the pod.
I just wanted to send y'all the picture I saw.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it on the pod. Yeah. Yeah, that was nuts. That's crazy. But for Game 7, I really don't know who I think. Well, when we did our predictions, I picked the Thunder, but now I truly don't know who's going to win.
That's the problem.
And it's like this series is not even about, to me, like the X's and O's and everything. It's just about which player is going to show up better. You know what I mean? Like
that's correct.
They're both doing a pretty good job with not a pretty good job, but like they're doing an okay job. Like the Thunder are doing an okay job against Jokic, right? And I think for the most part, Nuggets have been doing a good job against like SGA in terms of like containing both the team stars. But then,
They both been going off though.
But they haven't been going off crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen like Jokic have like a 40-point. Oh, that's not. Did he have a 40-point game this series?
I think so.
He did.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did.
They've both been going off. SGA been like 35, 33.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say is I've seen like coverages where those guys are being defended well, like when they do the double against Jokic and they're getting turnovers off Jokic. You know what I mean? They're doing a pretty good job for stretches against Jokic. And on the other end, where Nuggets get into the zone against OKC, and it looks like Shea has to give it up and has to become more of like a playmaker and has to pass the ball more. All that stuff has been working as well as it possibly could against 2 MVP level players. But the main keys for each team has been like the role players each and every game. Someone is always having a good game, and whoever does that is the winner of the game. Whether it's Aaron Gordon or someone for the Nuggets or Strother or someone like that. On the other side, Lou Dort, the Zoe, it's all dependent on like the role players. And like, so I don't know who's going to show up tonight. They saying Aaron Gordon might have an injury tonight too, or tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a big impact.
That's huge.
I'll tell you who's showing. Actually, here's my prediction. Game 7. Where is it?
In OKC.
It's in OKC. I'll tell you exactly who's showing up. Russell Westbrook.
I knew you were going there.
I knew he was
I
going
knew you were going there.
All right. 30, 10, and 10 to lift
Yo!
it up past the whole team. Okay. Let me tell you, I've seen him go off in not these playoffs, but I've seen him go off in a playoff series.
Not these playoffs is crazy.
Listen, man. If that would be the NBA script on Overdrive.
I'm not gonna lie though, that would kind of get me tight because because imagine you want to see who's gonna step up out of the MVP candidates.
Yeah.
And Russell Westbrook just turns back the clock and says, "Who cares? I'm winning this series. Oh, I'm winning this series."
Isn't that
MVP every year?
But isn't that just a Russell Westbrook thing to do? That's the thing. That's
Yes,
a Russell
yes,
Westbrook thing to do.
Yes, it is.
It would
Yes,
be.
Van will just people will be talking crazy on his name. He'll just randomly give me 485 and be like, "I told you I could do it," and then have like -7 the next game. And I'm a Westbrook fan. Like, this is crazy, but this is what it's turned into.
No, yeah, it's because like y'all hear people talk about the Russell Westbrook experience, and like I definitely understand what that means this year more than any other year.
Yes,
because like I've never seen another player who will do something so good on one play and the very next play
do something so boneheaded,
bad. Like it's within plays. Yeah, it's within.
It's
plays,
an open
bro.
lane. What are you doing?
It's not even just open.
Making Westbrook fans look bad, boy.
It's kind of like, but it's not even. I can't even say making them look bad because like when he does something good, it's so good and timely for the Nuggets.
Yeah,
like he'll get like a steal or a putback at the perfect time, and it like that's a play that won in the game. But like he might take a bad shot with like a minute 06 left, and it's like pretty much just a turnover or something.
This is what I said, right? Alan, you said something interesting. You said the coverages that they're playing on the stars are working. The superstars are working because
for stretches,
right? I think the reason you're saying that is because this is a series about the role players.
Yes,
role players are winning the series.
Yeah,
like they're the ones who are like if Lou Dort didn't make all them open threes, right? Because they're doubling Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, they're leaving somebody open. The role players are gotta have to hit the shots. Lou Dort doesn't hit those shots, they don't win that game, and the Nuggets win. If Schroeder doesn't hit those shots, even with Jamal Murray showing up, they don't win that game. He was the difference. Like so again, like, and then Jalen Williams is selling. He is choking.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's been so bad.
He's choking unbelievably. Right now, he's young, so I'm not gonna say. No, he's not. I'm not gonna say that's gonna continue for the rest of his career. It could, but I'm not gonna say that. But right Harden. Now, man, even James Harden ain't played this bad. But this is Julius Randle levels. But listen, honestly, he's hurting the team. But if somebody else steps up, they could still win. I do think though that in this series, I could see none of the role players playing well. And
it's just a start.
Yeah, like I could whoever is gonna step up and show that they're the real best player in the West. That's who's gonna win this series.
I don't know. If
shout out to Anthony Edwards, but I don't think he's better than Shea or Joker right now. And I think that Jokic is the best in the West. Therefore, he's gonna win it.
Wait, hold on, real quick, Andre. I'm sorry, one quick question. Why'd you limit it to just West?
I'm sorry.
Why'd he limit it to just West?
Because he knows who the best player in the East is. He knows who the best player in the league is.
Come on,
in the league. Why'd you limit it to just West?
You know what he's trying to tell you.
Let the playoffs play out, and you'll figure out why. Listen.
Okay, Andre, go.
I've seen some things I ain't seen since Kobe Bryant.
That is a fact. No.
Pharaoh, come back. Pharaoh, come back.
Come on, man.
Pharaoh.
Come on.
That's a fact.
Wait. Let me ask you a question, Alan. When's the last real quick? When's the last time you see somebody just put the team on their back like that to close out games consistently for 3 years now?
You're right. You're right about that. But at some point, we gotta put. And I love Jalen Brunson. Jalen's my guy. Y'all know where he's from.
Okay, facts.
Yeah.
And he claims it.
He claims it. And Kyrie claims it too, by the way. I'm tired of this. I'm so sick of this. Enough.
Yeah.
Kyrie's from Jersey. Stop. Enough, bro.
I thought he was from the Bronx. What's going on here?
Huh?
I thought he was from the Bronx.
He's not. His father, Diedrich Irving, he only has one father, and he's from the Bronx. He's
not him.
He got family. He got family up there. That's cool. He spent time up there. That's cool, man. But that man is from Jersey. But anyway,
his father, not him.
I forgot the point I was going to make.
That's the point.
But yes, but yeah, he put his team on his back. He does all that. But like, if your team is constantly down in the first place, you got to put the team on the back because you're letting them get down by 20 every game. You can't call that like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's a close game and he like just takes over. He has to bring them back down.
That's why it's impressive.
It's impressive, but we can't call that like the best if you let him get down in the first place. That has to count for something.
Listen, real stars shine brightest in the darkness, okay? That's what happens here. That's what he's doing. I said real stars shine brightest in the darkness, and that's what he be doing, okay? That's what he be doing.
And he goes off in the fourth quarters. But in the Pistons series, there was a time where the first 3 quarters have been really bad, and then he turns up in the fourth quarters.
And you know what?
Like we can't
heavy to Paul.
Jordan used to do that too, though.
Kobe used to do that too. Kobe used to do that a lot, and we don't talk. I remember one game. It was the 2012 season. I remember this is like right before Steph Curry was becoming Steph Curry. 2012 season against the Warriors. It was like a first game. And like the Warriors were like leading the entire game, like by a lot, like 15 minimum. And then fourth quarter starts, and Kobe just says, "I've had enough." That's all right. Hey, that's a nice little lead, y'all. There are stories of this man walking up to people at the end of the third and being like, "You had a nice game. Good shit." I like what you just did out there. And they're like, "Wait a second, we got a whole other fourth. And he just dominates." That we haven't had, to Paul's point, we haven't had a player like that. Not LeBron James, not Jason Tatum, not Steph Curry. We have not had a player like
not Steph Curry
since Kobe Bryant.
Let me say this right. This is why we keep talking about Kobe, right?
Yeah.
One thing that Jalen Brunson, since he's been on the Knicks, has shown is the ability to adjust within games.
Yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
And when you combine that with a fearlessness and just a hunger and grind and Mamba mentality, then now you're talking about closing, like closing on a different level. Now, here's the thing, right? I understand what you're saying, but the thing is this: the problem with these superstars today is that, and it's been like this for the past like 10 years now, is that they don't have another level to go to because of the inability to adjust. Michael Jordan would have a bad game and then have like 15 points, like a Jalen Brunson would have like 15 points in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden look at the stats and you're like, not that bad. But when you look at what he did and how he did it, those average looking stats or like decent looking stats actually feel crazier because of the impact that they had and when he had them. Kobe Bryant, same thing. We've seen bad games from all of them, and we've seen games where they were bad at first and then they end up turning good because they take it to another level, right? It's an intangible thing, and it's just an ability to adjust to schemes, and it's just something that a lot of these players are not. Look, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. These superstars, to clarify what I'm saying, these superstars today, most of them, they have that level where they could dominate at, and then once they get hit with adversity, like real adversity, it's a wrap. They can have 40 points, but if it's 40 points and it's a close game and they need to go to another level, they don't know how to adjust. They don't know how to adjust and take it to that other level, put the team on their back. That's why you see a lot of these guys start chucking up threes because they don't know how to adjust. They settle. Jalen Brunson is not settling. He's using footwork. He's using the history of the game to adjust and do what needs to be done. And he's not scared. Some of these guys be scared. But anyway, back to the
Fair enough. But one, it's every game they're down 20, and two, we can't put Kobe's name in there when he's doing this in the first and second round. We can't. That's my piece about it.
I'm foreshadowing. I know I'm foreshadowing.
That's fair, but I just gotta say that piece about it because I know Farrah would be incensed if you heard that, so I gotta rep it.
The guy care?
Yeah,
She'll be a Knicks fan anyway. Go ahead. He's the last person, Jalen Brunson. He's the real Kobe protege. Nobody else has shown a mama mentality unlike this guy. It's not Giannis.
Now that's a conversation.
It's not Devin Booker. Shout out Devin Booker. He's close. But nobody's shown it like Jalen Brunson.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Nobody.
I'm not mad at that. That's a good conversation. I can take that.
He's doing for New York Knicks, man.
The only thing Pharaoh's going to say about the only legitimacy I would give to Pharaoh on that argument is to say, oh, Jalen Brunson's not half the defender that Kobe Bryant is. Fair. And also literally because of his size. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We are talking about clutch factor. And when it matters the most, Jalen Brunson puts the team on his back and sends other teams packing.
He's been doing this for 2 or 3 years now. It's just that he's just now getting the credit.
Yeah.
Because people are looking at the Knicks like, oh, wait, they might actually go all the way.
Because this is the first game. This is the first series in 2 years that we are fully healthy.
And we don't have a choker in the team. But go ahead.
Hey man, we gotta slow down that conversation with him now because he's been going crazy.
Yeah, in Minnesota. In Minnesota. Go ahead, have fun.
But so I think I don't know who's gonna win the game 7, but again, I said when we did the predictions, I did say Thunder in 7, but I think I do agree it's gonna be about the stars, and I'm never betting against Joker either.
Real quick, why did you say Thunder at 7 in the first place though? Because this is 7.
Yeah, this is 7. But literally because I thought we did one. I thought they were only gonna get 7 because of Joker, right? I respected Joker enough that I thought they was gonna get 7, but I thought the Nuggets role players were not gonna be playing very well at all. I thought they were gonna be at best average. I didn't think they're going to shoot well. I don't think they have enough shooting, but they have showed me wrong in this series so far. I thought Jamal Murray's going to have a couple good games, but overall it'd be bad because of Thunder's stifling defense. But again, they proved me wrong. I think Bron has shot the ball way better than I thought he could. Aaron Gordon has played really well. Michael Porter Jr. surprisingly is the bad shooter in the team, but he's injured. But everyone else is stepping up. You know what I mean? For the most part.
Even the second-year players are rookies.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why. So originally I picked the Thunder at 7 because I thought everyone except Joker was going to be like mid or bad. But because of that, now I think that I would if I had to go back, I would pick the Nuggets because I think Joker is going to go off tonight.
Tomorrow. I started
tomorrow. Yeah, I keep saying that.
It feels more natural to say, we're all expecting a Saturday night game for a Sunday game.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It feels weird that it's Saturday at 3.
And also
Sunday at 3, I'm sorry.
Just because, like, specifically, I think the Joker is going to come out aggressive, and I think that's going to look, like, scary. You know what I mean? Because last game, I remember watching, I was like, Joker needs to be more aggressive. And like next thing I know, I thought he didn't. I wasn't looking at the box score, but next thing I know, he finished the game with almost a 30-point triple double, and I'm just like, was he even trying? He didn't get aggressive till like the fourth quarter when he was doing post ups, and I'm just like, how is that even possible? Like that man is just nice, bro. Like he puts up numbers effortlessly.
Yes,
so I think tomorrow night he's going to be aggressive, and that's going to be like. Could be a 40-point game because he knows what he got to do. So I'm excited to see that.
Let me say this quick. I want to, especially when Pharaoh's here next week, or not next week, but like after the season, I want to have a conversation about the real importance and impact of coaching in the NBA. Because I think the Nuggets are going to the finals. They're going to do that, firing their coach in the last week of the regular season. They got an interim coach who didn't coach the whole. He got a better postseason record than regular season record.
Yeah,
like literally, it's the first time in NBA.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So I think that's an
That's
I
an
think
interesting
like guys like
conversation.
Shaq are like they're like, nah, it's not like it's important, but not like that. He said it. So
Damn.
but that's
Man,
something
that's
I want to
crazy.
talk about.
When you
Yeah.
have the best player in basketball, like it's hard to like root it because at some point the DNA kicks in and like Jokic is just gonna be Jokic. And like if the team's running with him, he can force guys, he can force the team to get there. Like you can have a bad situation and he can still do it. The problem is that's gonna be for the Nuggets if they advance and if they make it to the finals, is Jokic is not because I do believe that the Knicks are gonna make it to the finals. I don't think Jokic is gonna be enough to take on a total team like that. A team where you have 5 WMVPs starting lineup
Sure.
and they can all lock you up with the exception of Cat.
I'm not even gonna analyze that yet. Let's wait.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
on the other side of this though, I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder won though.
I wouldn't be surprised.
because
That's why I said I don't know where this is gonna go. It depends on so many factors, and I know we said it's gonna be a superstar league or superstar game. But I've said this the entire series, and we can go back with the exception, I think, of like game 2 or something. Every game that MPJ goes off, the Nuggets win. Every game he has 10 or less, they lose. That's not necessarily speaking to MPJ. It's talking about how the defense is opened up and Jokic goes crazy to get him open shots. So if we're talking about Jokic being aggressive like that, that's going to be a pretty good indicator on where the Nuggets are pacing and where they are actually going to be winning this game.
I trust the Nuggets others more than I trust the Thunder others
Right now I do.
So I would be surprised if the Thunder win and SGA didn't get like 40 to 50. I should say.
Well, can we
I think he's gonna have to like dig deep to win this one.
Well, can we flip this now? If we're the Minnesota Timberwolves and we're chilling right now, we're waiting. Who do we want?
Wait, just really quick. I also wanted to say I think the key for the Thunder specifically is they have to do a lot of work on a defensive end. So I think that's how they've been really good against the Nuggets, because that's where they get their runs from.
Yes,
that's where they start going on a run, whatever they put. Yeah, that's where they break away from games. So I think if they play really hard on defensive end, stick to their principles, it can look hard for the Nuggets, because that's where they go up like 10-12 every time.
And they need that. I think they need that. The way the role players are consistent right now, they need some confidence, some easy buckets and all that.
Easy buckets, yep. What were we saying, Andre?
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I want to start thinking about it from the Minnesota Timberwolves perspective. Because if I'm the Timberwolves, I want the Nuggets to make it out of the series.
Why? Because it'd be there last year?
Yes. And because the Timberwolves are moving right now, like they have more trust in Julius Randle than they had in Cat.
You think? Ooh.
I didn't say it's accurate. I didn't say it's well deserved. I said they are moving right now.
Like no, I understand.
You know,
even that's still a bold statement, though.
Yeah, it is. But I've seen it.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
It's something I've talked about the entire year, and I've seen it. Like they are very comfortable with Julius Randle having the ball in his hands. They are very comfortable letting him get to his spots in the post. They're very comfortable letting him go downhill. They are very comfortable with him, with honestly Ant playing off ball from him and just getting ready to take a shot. In fact, they benefited from that, and it opens them up. And also defensively, Julius Randle has been very present. I think because he is a better defender. We don't really consider it, but he is a better defender than Cat was. So I don't know if they lose that much of Julius Randle. In fact, I think to them, they think Julius Randle might be the answer to solidifying a win against the Nuggets. And then you still have what's his name? You still have Rudy Gobert, and he's still a very good paint defender. So if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves, especially with the way Ant's shooting and the way that these others have come, Jaden McDaniels and all them, I think I'm getting ready to run it back against the Timberwolves. In fact, against the Nuggets. In fact, I'm hoping that it's the Nuggets that come out, because if it's the Thunder, we got to re-strategize here. Because I don't think I think the Thunder matchup is not as favorable going the other way.
See, okay, all right. I agree to an extent, though, because the defensive part is where. Okay, let me address what you said about the offense and trusting Julius Randle. I don't necessarily think it's a trust thing. I think it could be, but I just personally just don't feel like it's a trust thing. I think
you don't trust him, and you
no,
don't
no. That's not where I'm going. That's not where I'm going.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Listen, Julius Randle is not the shooter that Cat is.
That's true.
They brought in Rudy Gobert so that Cat could be the self-proclaimed best shooting big man ever, right? And he has an argument, but that they tried to milk that last year, right? Julius is not that. He's a capable shooter now, but great shooter where like he's taking 8 threes a game. No, he's not that. So him being on the team now, I think it forces the Timberwolves to utilize him in a different way from Cat, because he's a different player from Cat. So now, like, because he's not just this 3-point shooter, you have to put him in the post. You have to put him at the high post or the elbow. You gotta play off it. You gotta utilize him in a different way than you could even think about utilizing Cat. Not saying Cat can't do those things, but they were like, oh, let's just milk the threes. Let's treat Cat like he's Nas Reed. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they did. So that's why I don't think it's a trust thing. Right now, the defensive side, Farrell believes in Julius Randle's ability to do what Cat did last year to Jokic and just be a big body. I don't. And this isn't based in disrespect or anything. He's 6'9"? He's 6'9". 6'8", 6'9". That's LeBron size. Jokic is a real center. You need somebody who's a real, like, I understand how strong Julius is. Like, he got center strength, but first of all, I've seen him get bodied by Zion. Number one. Number two, Joker is just taller, and the type of player he is, he offensively, he will utilize whatever advantage he has. He simplifies the game so much that that's why sometimes it looks like he's just being lazy out there and not breaking a sweat. It's because he's using his intelligence. If Julius Randle tries to body him, he's going to draw fouls on him and shoot over him because he's just taller than him. If he doesn't do that and plays passive defensively, now he could use a little strength that he has, because Julius is going to be afraid to use his strength because he's going to be afraid of fouling him. He's going to play that mental game. I think Cat deserves more respect for the defense he played on Joker last year. Rudy Gobert played help off of Aaron Gordon, right? And helped Cat out playing defense on Joker, right? However, what superstar are you not playing help off of in the conference finals, and even in the semifinals? You're playing help on and there's no one-on-one defense on a superstar in the NBA in this deep in the playoffs. This is why these teams are this good, right? I believe that Cat actually had a bigger impact than a lot of people are giving him credit for defensively, because he played good enough defense, physical enough defense to allow the help that Rudy Gobert to even matter. And we don't talk about that enough. If you're just a cone, then playing help not gonna, because like he's gonna get to his spot before the help can even come, or you're gonna have to just straight up double and leave people wide open for the whole possession. Like as soon as they catch the ball, double, like that type of double, right? Instead of waiting for them to make their move and then you play help, you tease them, you hedge, you double when they're about to go up. All that, like, it's different. And Cat did a good job. I don't think Julius could do that. Yeah, because he's a forward and Jokic is a center. No disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect him right now.
No.
Not right now.
And to your point, we've seen what happens when, I think back to the bubble, low key. We've seen what happens when, like, a smaller, quote unquote, stronger or strong defender is put on Jokic. It is literally a death knell for the other team, because he will do exactly what you're talking about, Paul. I think back to Montrezl Harrell. He got eviscerated.
Yep.
And they couldn't, and Jokic kept laughing at me like, why aren't you putting Zubac on me?
And then you saw this year Zubac went on him, and it was a different case.
Yeah.
They almost got eliminated in the first round.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
There's difficulty there. And
There's not a lot of those guys in the NBA, though. That's the thing.
And that's the other side of it. If you go up against the Thunder, they have a 7-1 guy and they have a 7-2 guy that are standing right there. It's going to be difficult for Jokic to go off.
You talking about the Thunder?
Yeah.
Nah, man, they food.
Food.
And Chet Holmgren is food.
Chet
I don't know if
is
he's
food.
food.
Chet is food for Jokic.
I don't know if
Hartenstein is food too.
Hartenstein is playing in help.
Oh, yeah, because last year he couldn't do anything with Embiid. Embiid was in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a Hartenstein, but he one-on-one defense on good post scores is not his thing.
Yeah. So I think if I'm the Timberwolves, I do think I would rather play the Thunder than the Nuggets. Only because I feel like we can match up with them really well in terms of like their offense. Because if you look at them, you have players like Jaden McDaniels, you have Nikhil Alexander. Those guys can be put on to Che, and I'm not saying they're going to hold him or cut him off or anything like that. But at least you have capable defenders that you could put on him that just won't get cooked every single play. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think one, that's really important for them. And two, I think the Jokic thing, like Paul pretty much said it, Paul, but I think Jokic thing is the biggest thing for the Timberwolves. I think when you have Jokic in there, that's a possibility to mess up your whole game plan, because who are you going to put on him? You got Rudy Gobert, but if you put Rudy Gobert onto Jokic, quite frankly, I think that's a recipe for foul trouble, and that messes up your whole game plan. I really don't think Rudy Gobert can hold Jokic without fouling him, and now that's messing up your whole rotation because they have a very specific rotation over there. The Nuggets, I mean the Timberwolves, I don't know, there's too many teams. The Nuggets have a very good bench, but I think the Timberwolves have a good bench that can match their offensive production. They won't fall off once you start going to the rotation. You know what I mean? Like you got Nasreed in there. Yeah, you got Nasreed in there that could go up against a player like Chet when he comes into the game and still maintain your offense. So, like, if I'm the Timberwolves, I'm thinking I could really hang with the Timberwolves, and I could hang with the Nuggets too, but Jokic is going to be such a problem for them that can mess up a couple games. So I think I would rather play the Thunder. And honestly, the Thunder, like, you kind of have more experience in them too. If I'm thinking outside X's and O's, you kind of have more experience in them. You see Jalen Williams is having trouble in this series. You think you go at him. You know what I mean? Like, you think he's full now, and you think that he's going to, not come with the best effort, not come with his best self because he might be nervous. The moment might be too big for him. And I think that's a recipe for Ant to kill. So I think
I'll say this, right?
Mhm.
I believe that the Timberwolves want the Nuggets because of what they did last year to me.
Yeah.
That's what I think they think. Now,
right.
If I were a player on the Timberwolves, I might want the Thunder, because the key to the Thunder being so good this year is that the others, everybody else supported, they did their jobs, I should say, at an extremely high level, right? Case and Wallace, the other Jalen Williams, the light-skinned one, who else? Wiggins. Wiggins, like, I'm talking about those guys, like the guards and the forwards. They played hard defense, which they still are, but they hit their open shots, right? Now, those others played it. SGA is the offense, and Jalen Williams helped, of course, right? But SGA is the offense. SGA is still the offense, and he's still doing this thing. He hasn't fallen off, right? Which is good to see. But everybody else has been incredibly inconsistent. Lugens Dort, he's been inconsistent too, right? He had one moment that was very important to keep the series alive. Otherwise, it would have been eliminated. But these others are so inconsistent that if I was on the Timberwolves, if I was a Timberwolves player, I would say, you know what? I believe in our guys more than I believe in their guys outside of SGA. So like Nasri is gonna start going off. What's my Jaden McDaniels is gonna go off. Of course, Anthony Edwards, Julius is keeping up his productivity from the regular season, which is the first time he's done this ever, right? Like these other guys are playing well for us. They're inconsistent over there. So I believe that if I was on the Timberwolves, I would want the Thunder because of that. I just believe in us more than them. But I think they want the Nuggets because they believe they could beat the Nuggets.
Yep. And
they want to beat. You know how Anthony Edwards is. He want to beat the best. He try to take down every superstar in the NBA. So
it's a fact.
Yeah. SGA is competition for Edwards, whereas Jokic is a level above him.
Yes.
So I think he's like, I want Jokic. But it don't matter who you want.
I mean, do you think he still thinks that with the MVP? Do you think he wants to show him y'all trying to put him on this level yet before me?
Not over Jokic.
Right.
Not over Jokic. Jokic got multiple. SGA and Edwards are in the same tier. They're contemporaries.
I think so too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a few years older than him, but they are contemporaries. They reached their prime. Anthony Edwards not in his prime, but he's
not even yet.
No, yeah, he's not even in his prime yet. But he's reached this level of superstardom. Right, this is it. But he's reached this level of superstardom at the same time that SGA did. SGA was in the NBA years before, but they both became stars at the same time. They're not that far in age, so it's like they're contemporaries.
They're far enough. How SGA is 28 now, and what 24, 23?
SGA is 27, isn't he?
I thought it was 28, but even still, that's 4 years.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 years.
NBA.
I think it's 3 years though. I think SGA is 27. I think he's born 98.
Hold on, I'll check their ages right now.
Anthony Edwards might be 23. No, not 23. Yeah. 24.
SGA is 26. He was born in 98.
Yeah, he's born in 98. He's turning 27.
Yeah.
They're not that far in age.
No, that's 3.5 years. That's far enough.
You added half.
Yes. That's 3.5 years. That's closer to 4.
What are we, children? Oh, I'm 6.5 years old.
Half is a real
3 years.
Half is a real number, right? 3.5 is you round up. You don't.
It's not even a whole number. Get that out of here, man.
What do you mean? That's not how math works.
It's a fraction. It's not a whole number.
That's not how math works. That's literally.
You added a whole fraction to make your argument sound better. Come on.
You round. You don't round down. You round up, guy.
Is it literally 3.5 or is it 3 point?
It's probably like 3.8, honestly.
Nah, they're not that far in it. I'm telling you.
You round up 0.5. What do you mean?
How old is Anthony Edwards, man?
23.
Is he or is he 24?
I gotta see this guy's 23.5. What's wrong with you?
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you right now.
But I have a take that's a little bit on the Timberwolves team, but it's a little bit off topic. And I'm mad at the time I had an idea to put it as a blog. I just went against it. And I'm mad I didn't do it now because I kind of wish I had it on wax. Mm-hmm. But looking back on it, I think the Timberwolves trade and Knicks trade was not so lopsided as people think it was.
Here we go.
But specifically for the intentions of both teams. I'm not saying Julius Randle is anywhere close to Cat, but for what the Timberwolves did for their team, the organization, I think that was a good ass move looking back on it.
No.
Let me explain myself. Specifically, they got Cat. So, broadly speaking, Cat's age and And Cat's age and Anthony Edwards' age too far apart to have Anthony Davis as your franchise player, right? To have Cat as your second best player to Anthony Davis, they're too far apart. Their windows,
Edwards.
yeah, Anthony Edwards. Sorry, their
Yeah,
windows are too far apart. Ant is not even in his prime yet. By the time Ant reached his prime, Cat may not be as good as he is today. You know what I mean?
So you're using age as a
But isn't that the same thing for Julius Randle? How old is
Julius Randle?
But but Julius Randle, his contract is much shorter. By the time Julius Randle's contract ends, they're going to be able to get another player or do a trade or do whatever it is to make this thing better. They wasn't going to be able to do that with Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns is signed to a long contract. So by doing this, they kept the team good enough for Ant to get his runs in, like his playoff runs in, while developing, because Ant is nowhere near where he's gonna be.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So the fact that he's still able to take this team to the conference finals tells me what a star he is, and tells me that this is what they had in mind the whole time, that they wanted him to have a good enough team to develop and get his runs in to get to the conference finals and do all his stuff in the playoffs to develop as a player, while still having a good enough team to do that. But now they have so much more room to improve the team down the line, whereas they didn't with Cat before. And I feel like that was their intention the whole time making this trade. So I feel like it was kind of even trade for when if you think about the intents of both organizations, the Knicks got what they wanted. They got a win-now move for Karl-Anthony Towns, and now they have a chance to go to the finals. And I think the Minnesota Timberwolves got exactly what they wanted. And I think that's great GMing. Personally, that's just the point I wanted to make.
That's why I disagree, though. I got two. I'll make it quick because I know we gotta go. Number one, what was my first point? Oh,
damn it!
Number one, right? Yes, his contract is shorter. Julius's contract is shorter, but they don't just because they have room to work with, right? Yeah. To make a change. That doesn't mean you're going to get better.
Fair enough.
You understand what I'm saying? That's the first thing, right? Number two. Listen, y'all. That sounds like you're playing with Anthony Edwards' youth and his career.
I don't know.
That's what it sounds like to me. Because hold on, you go to the conference finals last year, right? You trade the second best player. He goes back this year. He had to do a little more offensively too. You go back this year. You eventually get rid of the second best player again. Or third, I don't know, like Rudy Gobert, but I mean, whatever. Second best offensive player, right? You trade him again. Maybe if it's not next year, the year after that, right? First of all, I believe consistency is important for young players. If you have no consistency, then you're basically saying, okay, just go be great. And in the words of Tim Legler, go be great is not a play. Right? When you are playing with a roster like that, you're basically signaling to this young player that we know you're good and we know you're nice, but you'll be all right. We'll focus on the consistency aspect of it later. That type of stuff ends up with young players, when they become not so young players, leaving. That's what I think. I think they made a mistake. I think Cat is better than Julius. And if they don't get to the finals, it was a mistake. Because now what? You're getting back to the same place with a year older player. It's not that much older, but a year older player, shorter contract, yes. But if it's a shorter contract, okay, when are you going to trade that contract? When it's about to be up? Now that contract doesn't have as much value anyway. So what are you going to get back? That's what I said. Is like get better? I don't know, but you can make a change.
They might wait for the contract to clear and
that's a
find him off the books. That's probably what he's going to do.
Even that, I think, was better than the situation they would have ended up in. You know what I mean?
So you're going to try and get a free agent to go to Minnesota?
Yes.
Either that, or
that's the game.
Listen,
good luck.
It's either that. If you could get a player to come play with Ant, that may not be all that crazy. But either way, I think it was going to be was either going to be this or be stuck with an old player with a contract and you can't do anything with your team. I guess my point is now they went from potentially no options to the future to having options, and I think that's the best thing you can do when you're trying to plan to keep a player for the rest of his career. Because by the time everything shakes out how it's going to shake out, now you're looking at like, now I gotta leave this team because we can't grow anymore. You know what I mean? When you're a market like Minnesota, that's you kind of have to think about that ahead of time.
Right.
I think they should think about right now and winning the chip right now. That's where their mindset should be at. Because preparing for the future that's not here yet in Minnesota is incredibly risky. Players will not go to Minnesota, they leave, man. Players will not go to, they leave Minnesota. So be careful. Like you're playing with Anthony. Like I know he's young, but they were a contender last year. And now they're a contender again, but we're talking about getting rid of the piece that is keeping them a contender in Julius Randle.
Potentially, you never know. Potentially.
I mean, but the contract is up, right?
Yeah.
They
could resign him.
They could resign him, but now, okay, you resign him. What is Cat gonna do? They better pray the Knicks don't win the chip. I'm telling you right now.
That's the hope. I'm telling you.
What if they both get to the finals? They both get to the finals. That would be good too.
No, but who's gonna win?
But
at that point, it's still about Julius versus Cat. Because
do you think if they both get to the finals, do you think it was even trade still or no? It has to be whoever wins.
Who won?
Damn.
Because I'm saying if Cat wins, Cat's gonna be a big part of that.
Yeah.
Him training that man, and he's a year younger.
Yeah.
Man, they lucky that Luka trade happened.
No, it's a fact.
That's not the worst trade this year anymore.
That's a fact. That is a fact. I don't know. To Alan's point, I think the timelines didn't actually match up, so there might be some validity to what he's saying.
That's really important in the NBA.
That's incredibly important. I think he's going through right now what MJ did early on in his Bulls career, without hopefully the injuries. And I think eventually, say it again.
And his team is good too. So I mean, that Bulls team that won against the Celtics, they did pretty high.
They weren't.
But then they kept getting beat up. So yeah. Well, so the point I was making is I don't know if they found the perfect running mate with him for Cat. I mean, listen, it might just also be they're trying to develop Jaden McDaniels as well, because they got a lot of hope in him too. So they're just trying to buy time for these two to learn how to play basketball the right way and get their runs in too. So yeah, we've been doing it. Do you watch Fast Breaks? This is what we do. You want to talk about a standard of excellence? They're the standard that we go against. That's the standard. And it wasn't a comparison to MJ. It was a comparison to the Bulls teams, what they were doing. Anyway.
I definitely brought up MJ when I was talking about that in Brooklyn, but I don't regret it. You'll see.
No, we said Kobe, not Jay. We didn't say MJ.
No, I said both.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, that's nuts.
No, it's not nuts. It's not nuts.
Nah.
I didn't say it.
Right.
Paul, these are the quiet thoughts you got to keep to yourself. That's what the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Those was one of the quiet thoughts you got to keep.
No, the Kobe thing you can say though. The Kobe thing is just a fact.
Oh man.
Right.
The Kobe thing is a fact.
Anyway, we did it, y'all. Any more thoughts about this series?
We did it
about the series.
Anything is possible.
Final questions, comments, or concerns?
Please email us.
Follow and subscribe us to us, y'all. Shout out to Fastbreaks. We're gonna give you a great content.
Listen, let me just say this: the liberty of repeating.
Facts.
Shout out to Natasha Cloud for using my sound on IG on her posts.
Hey,
oh, yeah, it's a fact. That's a fact.
Listen, man, Brooklyn, New York, let's go. We got some trips this year, man. This is my year, man. My teams, man. Let's go. I need the Mets to beat the Yankees. I don't like losing to the Yankees.
All right, fast breaks. Catch us back here next week, right? Keep watching basketball. Peace.
Come on. It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the.
Hold on. Wait a second.
What happened?
Wait a second.
Hey!
Wait a second.
Is he here?
This man was just here.
What happened?
We can't
Wake
see
up.
or hear you.
Wake up out your sleep. This guy pulling Aaron Gordon.
We had to come back for
He's
this.
trying, but he hold on.
No. Hold
How
on.
many roles can be in this podcast?
Hold on.
Can you hear stuff?
That's what I like to see.
That's a fact.
You got to change that 5 too.
Reporting.
You got to change that 4 to a 5 too. Feel me?
Repeating.
You see what time it is.
That's a fact.
That banner went up today, you heard?
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's a big fact.
The rings was given out. Mine's in the mail.
Listen. We New York putting on multiple banners.
That's a
How about
fact.
that?
Hey,
Right.
this is what I'll say.
That's-
Paul,
Oh, we
this
just
is
want
not
you
the
to know-
one. This is not Paul. This is not the one you think it is. But because I'm celebrating this today, I threw in a little.
Hey!
Oh!
Hey, man!
Come
Come on, man. We know what you are. We know what team you really represent. That's what's going on here.
Oh nah.
They want us to let you know that we said that Jalen Brunson is the next.
Not we. Not
Can I
we.
be clear though?
Specify.
Can I be clear though?
Specify. What,
Hold on. I just want to be clear, and I'm whispering because I'm in a public place. I threw the orange on to celebrate Nick's demise solely.
Demise?
I mean,
What demise?
Celtics. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
To celebrate
okay.
Celtics demise only.
That's it.
You and I can't use the language I want to use in my current setting, but you fellers are crazy.
Why just use the hard R like that?
Because you fellers are crazy. Shea is the closest thing to Kobe in the league, minus being a super athlete. He's not a super athlete. That's the only difference.
Nope. He's
Watch
just nice.
Watch the film.
You talking? There's more, as you know. There's more to Kobe than just fadeaways and defense.
If we're talking, all right. So what are we talking? Are we talking game or what are we talking about?
Clutch
We're
fact.
talking about
That is a
mentality.
singular.
Mentality.
That's a singular thing.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing with
That's
Kobe
what we're
Bryant, is it
talking
not?
As
No,
far as
and that's the
clutch factor,
problem.
he's
The
the next
commercialization of Kobe has narrowed his
Move your lips away from
iconism.
the camera. I don't want to see him that close. What do
The
you-
commercialization of Kobe's legacy has narrowed him down to only mentality, and I rebuke that in the name of Mamba.
Listen,
That's kind of a fact.
but that okay.
He is way more than just mentality. He was the most skilled
Complete.
basketball player we've ever seen.
Okay,
He
and
was
Jalen
the-
Brunson
he
is
was
the most
the-
skilled in the
He
NBA right
was
now.
the most flawless athlete. He had zero weaknesses in his basketball game. You cannot sit here and tell me Jalen Brunson has zero weaknesses in basketball game. If you're not a two-way player, don't bring up Kobe Bean Bryant's name.
I knew you
That
would
man
say
was a
that.
I told you he
that
was going
man
to say that.
that
I
man
knew you
was
would say that.
that man had the most first team all defensive selections for a guard in NBA history. We have to stop minimizing what this man was as a player. We have to
Listen,
stop.
we're saying from
All
a
of the
perspective, he's the next Kobe. There's nobody like him. That puts
first
a
of
team
all,
back.
nobody said the next Kobe.
There's
Nobody
no
said the
Kobe's
next
in the
Kobe.
league.
Nobody
You
said that.
haven't.
Nobody
No one
said
has
that.
shown me. No one has shown me a two-way demon who is on the path to absolute perfection in their game. You haven't shown it to me.
All right,
From an
fine.
offensive standpoint,
Wait.
Jalen Brunson-
Y'all let the comments win. Nobody said the next Kobe. We did not say that, Farrell. What I said is the clutch factor that we are seeing from Jalen Brunson. We haven't seen this since Kobe.
You haven't seen a player as clutch as this since Kobe.
That's what we said. That's
Kyrie.
all we said.
Kyrie.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Nope. Not
See,
doing
we
it.
have such short memories. Alan, I'm
Nope.
disgusted with you.
Nope.
Bro, I did not say that. I went against them. I just said,
But did you bring
Kyrie
up
was
Kyrie?
never more clutch.
But did you
was
bring
never
up
more
Kyrie?
clutch than Jalen
I
Brunson.
did not bring up Kyrie because
So stop trying to claim him for Jersey then. If there was
Stop.
a conversation of clutch.
Oh my God!
There was
Now
a
you're gonna start a
conversation.
fight.
Hold on.
We
There was a
didn't
conversation of
Podcast
clutch.
have a
Fight
conversation.
him.
There was a
Podcast
conversation
We
of
did
clutch,
not have
and
a
Allen
conversation
didn't bring
of
up
clutch.
Kyrie Irving.
We didn't have a conversation about clutch. We weren't arguing about clutch. They said the stuff they said about. They said the stuff about. They said about Kyrie,
I just
about
wanted to bring up the Jersey.
Brunson.
That's why he really came
That's
up.
what he did. That's what I saw. He wanted to do. He wanted to trigger me this morning. He wanted to trigger me this morning. I was having a good morning. He wanted to come trigger me.
I was having a good day.
I'm dragging that. Paul, you have a short memory to say. Kyrie hit the biggest shot in NBA Finals history that we've ever seen.
One shot.
No, but that wasn't his first game winner ever. That man consistently. Do you forget the fourth quarter against the Spurs twice? Do you forget his fourth quarters against the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs? Do you forget his fourth quarters against the Raptors in the playoffs?
I'm taking Jalen Brunson.
I'm saying an argument can be made outside of this Celtics team. An argument can be made that Kyrie has had multiple clutch playoff performances against better teams.
I don't know if that's true.
100%. 100%.
Take away this
Celtics series. Take away this Celtics series. Take away this Celtics series. The teams that Kyrie Irving has been clutch against. No, but I'm saying that's one series.
He's saying
right?
it's one series, and I disagree with that.
Outside of his clutch performance in this series against the champion team, which he gets all credit for, the other teams in the other scenarios where Jalen Brunson has been clutch do not stack up to Kyrie's.
Kyrie Irving.
That's fair.
Let's talk about it. The Cavs.
And also, you got to give one last point. You also got to put extra sauce on the stage Kyrie did it in. Like, you're saying one shot, but like if we're using Jalen Brunson's best clutch performance against a champion in the second round, you compare that to Kyrie's best clutch performance, which honestly is the entire 3-1 comeback. People don't talk about that enough. That 3-1 comeback, that 3-1 comeback was fueled equally by Kyrie as it was LeBron. So I'm counting three games in the finals of being clutch, down 3-1.
Nope.
Absolutely. The 41 performance
We're talking
in
about
game
a specific point in the game.
I mean, in game 6, game 5. The 41-point performance in game 5.
We're talking about specifically fourth quarters. We're not talking about whole games and a whole series. We're not doing that because we were up in this series.
Being down, but if you're down 3-1, does not every game after that isn't that clutch? See? If you're down 3-1, every single game after that is clutch.
This is exactly what I was talking about before, by the way.
You can't deny that. If I'm down 3-1, every minute of every game after that 3-1 is a clutch moment. Every single minute.
That's not what you said, Andre.
No. Before we started, what was going to happen after the 2-hour mark?
Blame Farrell. Listen, all I'm saying is, even within those games, the fourth quarters of those games was an elevated level of pressure. We talk about the clutch time is called clutch time for a reason.
Kyrie showed up.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey.
But so did LeBron, right?
Listen.
Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. He got no help in the fourth quarters. It's just him. And Kyrie hit that shot on they say injured Stephen Curry. That's not saying much.
No. Leave it right now. Leave it right now. This will be another conversation at another time. Nomad, I don't want your comments right now. We are ending the episode, and we will pick up again next week.
I thought you said you didn't want to be the host. What happened?
Too bad. I'm taking the reins.
Oh my
Fast
God.
Breaks family. Give a special hello to our boy Ro, who came back for the last 10 minutes, and we will see y'all together next week. We out.
Exit part 2. Peace.
Light it up.
Man, this show is crazy.
If you're looking for intellectual, informed basketball takes, and you want to bring in media that knows what they're talking about, look no further than
Come on. It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throwing me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw